Jeopardy's Ken Jennings has gone all in on James Holzhauer, shading his former poker pro rival with a savage diss for the ages. The now host burned James for losing to him when they were contestants in 2020's GOAT tournament. Famous contestant James innocuously tweeted about an NFL game. Eerie photos taken just before tragedy hit. He wrote above an image of the Colts leading with 33 points against the Vikings, who then went from 0 to win the game. Ken, 48, intercepted with an image of the two of them on Jeopardy, no caption needed. It showed Ken with $22,000 and James with $33,000 during Game 3 of 2020's greatest of all-time tournament between them and Brad Rutter. Ken then made a comeback and won the $1 million prize. Ken is a savage. Fans had a field day as one user of hundreds replied, "Ha ha 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 damn. Cold," wrote another as a third agreed, "Ken's just a savage," and a fourth, "What is a third-degree burn?" This is generally how guys show their friendship, by roasting and mocking each other. Source: me, a guy, explained a fifth. Another user had to ask over on Reddit as the clapback blew up, "New to Jeopardy! Lore, what happened next?" Someone handily replied, "This is the end of the first round of the last game of the GOAT tournament." It was the best of three, and at this point, James had one win, and Ken had two. It was looking like James was going to tie it up, as you can see with the scores in the photo, but Ken came back and won against James. Even 16-time winner Ryan Long piled on with a meme as Ken had gotten James where it hurts. 3 for all. Going into 2020's Touchstone tournament, Ken had the longest regular winning streak, and still does, with 74 victories and total earnings of $4.3 million, counting that win. Brad is considered the highest money winner of all time across any television game show, with a total Jeopardy! Earnings of $4,688,436. Brad had also never lost in Jeopardy! To a human opponent. He had beaten Ken in the earlier Ultimate Tournament of Champions and walked away with $2,100,000. Brad won his original 5 games in 2000 before the 5-game win cap was lifted, and the rest of his earnings came from tournaments. He had only ever lost to IBM's Watson, which the show doesn't count as an official L. James went in with the record for all 15 of the top single-day winnings records on the show and won the 2019 Tournament of Champions. He had won his 32 huge margin games and $2.46 million in 2019, $2.9 million counting later tournaments. So not only were the three indisputably the best of the buzz, but viewership clocked in at roughly 15 million nightly over the course of the tournament, according to the Associated Press. In other words, Ken has only ever lost to Brad, Nancy Zerg in 2004 and a computer, but never James. It started as an ordinary episode of Jeopardy! But it ended up trending across social media for all the wrong, and yet hilarious, reasons. Host Ken Jennings, known for his affable demeanor, encyclopedic mind, and quick wit, shocked longtime viewers and contestants alike with a jaw-droppingly savage burn aimed directly at Jeopardy! Legend James Holzhauer. And yes, it was all about the one time Ken Jennings actually lost to him. A familiar face returns. The moment unfolded during a special Champions Challenge episode, where 3 former Jeopardy! Titans squared off for a charity tournament. One of the contestants happened to be a contestant from Holzhauer's original 32-game win streak, someone who had narrowly missed dethroning the buzzer-slinging phenom. As Ken introduced the player, he remarked with a light chuckle, "He came this close to beating James Holzhauer. But to be fair, so did I just once. We've all got a James Holzhauer scar, don't we?" Laughter rippled through the studio audience, but it didn't stop there. Jennings, with a sly grin and an eyebrow raised, added, "At least I didn't base my whole brand on almost breaking my own record and smiling smugly while doing it." Gasps. Giggles. Stunned silence. And then a full-on Jeopardy! Fan meltdown online. Social media implodes. Within minutes, clips of the moment were circulating on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Ken Jennings just bodied James Holzhauer on live TV? One user wrote, with a gif of an explosion. Another tweet read, "I never thought I'd live to see Ken Jennings enter his petty era, and I'm here for it." Fans flooded Reddit forums and Discord channels dedicated to Jeopardy! Dissecting the burn like it was a daily double. Memes emerged of Ken wearing sunglasses, stepping away from a fiery explosion, or standing on a battlefield littered with trivia casualties. Some even photoshopped a fake scoreboard. Savage clapbacks, Final Jeopardy edition. Ken Jennings, $12,000. James Holzhauer, -$4,000. Alex Trebek's Ghost, approves. A longtime friendly rivalry. Ken's jab didn't come out of nowhere. Fans of the show know that Ken and James have shared a famously friendly rivalry ever since Holzhauer's dominant 2019 run. Holzhauer's aggressive, sports-style approach to the game revolutionized how Jeopardy was played. High bets, buzzer speed, and daily doubles hunted with surgical precision. When James finally lost to Emma Butcher after 32 wins and over $2.4 million, it felt like the end of an era. But the rivalry peaked during the 2020 Jeopardy! Greatest of all time, GO80, tournament. Jennings emerged victorious over both Holzhauer and Brad Rutter, solidifying his status as the game's most iconic champion. That didn't stop Holzhauer from throwing a few shade-laced tweets at the time, joking that Jennings won by luck, and calling himself the people's champ. So maybe, just maybe, that burn had been simmering for 5 years. Holzhauer responds, of course. Never one to stay silent, James Holzhauer clapped back within the hour on Twitter, posting, "Ken Jennings finally lands a punch. Took him longer than it took me to clear the board, winking face emoji." He followed that with a tongue-in-cheek poll. Should I challenge Ken to a rematch or just roast him from the sidelines? Radio button emoji, rematch. Radio button emoji, roast. Radio button emoji, write passive-aggressive trivia questions about him on Twitter. The fans ate it up. Even former contestant Matei Roach chimed in, tweeting, "Watching two trivia titans sass each other is the nerd version of WrestleMania." Producers react. Backstage, producers were reportedly in stitches over Ken's unscripted dig. A staffer anonymously told an entertainment blog, "Ken usually sticks to the script, but every now and then he throws in a zinger. This one? Instant classic. We're already cutting it into promo reels." Sony, which produces Jeopardy, even posted a playful teaser for next week's episode. Ken vs. James, Round 2? Tune in Monday. While there's no official rematch planned yet, the fans are already clamoring for it. Fans want a roast showdown. In response to the viral moment, Jeopardy! Fans launched an online petition for a special Jeopardy! Roast battle episode, where past champs throw playful burns at each other before tackling the board. One fan commented, "We've had Professor's Tournament, Teen Tournament, Celebrity Jeopardy! It's time for Petty Jeopardy!" Others are suggesting a miniseries on Jeopardy's YouTube channel where Ken and James go head-to-head with increasingly clever quips, buzzer speed challenges, and insult trivia. The legacy lives on. Despite the shade, there's no real animosity between Jennings and Holzhauer. In fact, the burn only reinforced why fans love Jeopardy! More than ever, it's not just about trivia. It's about the personalities, the drama, and the occasional zesty clapback. Ken Jennings, who has been hosting the show full-time since 2023, has gradually grown more confident and playful in his delivery. Viewers have noticed his growing comfort behind the podium, sprinkling in humor while keeping the show's revered format intact. And if that humor sometimes comes at the expense of a fellow trivia goat? Well, even better. Final Jeopardy! Who's the real winner? In the end, the burn wasn't just about James Holzhauer or his playing style. It was a reminder that Jeopardy! Is evolving, and so are its champions. Ken Jennings may have lost to Holzhauer once, but on this particular day, with one well-timed line and a raised eyebrow, he won the hearts, and retweets, of millions. And as one fan perfectly put it in a viral post, Ken Jennings didn't just read the clue, he was the answer. Who is the king of comebacks? Bellhop bell emoji, daily double of drama. Will this lead to another GOAT-style showdown? Will Holzhauer return fire with a buzzer-breaking comeback of his own? One thing is clear, Jeopardy! Just got a lot more personal, and we're so here for it.